Hello, and welcome back to the Magical Lane. I'm your host, Maggie Jane, and today we are diving into something I am very passionate about and something that I started doing for myself and learned for myself a few weeks ago, and that is how glucose affects the body. And many hacks and very easy hacks on how to reduce glucose spikes. And I learned this from listening to one of Jay Shetty's episodes, of course, but he had on this guest. Her name is Jessie Inchauspé. She is a French biochemist and a best-selling author. She goes by the Glucose Goddess, and her book is called Glucose Revolution. And I have not yet read the book, but I literally, just from listening to this one episode, I learned so much. I took so many notes on it, and I've been implementing them into my life. And I have noticed so many changes in just increased energy and just feeling better throughout my entire day. And my stomach just feels better and happier, and I feel happier. And I just, I love it. And I will be having her on this podcast. So I'm working on getting that set up, but might as well just share what I know now from what I've already learned from her. So today we are diving into how glucose affects you and what it is used for and how your body reacts to it and all the ways that you get glucose and just hacks on how to reduce glucose spikes and the importance of knowing about glucose spikes, because I feel like not many people know this much unless you're like really into health and wellness and nutrition, or you're into some medical field. Like, you're not going to just learn about glucose unless you intentionally learn about it. So that's why I want to put this episode out there, because it's truly helped me just learning about this. Like, I was so intrigued. Like, I was just sitting there staring at a screen, just learning and taking in so much and just taking notes. I'm like, this is fucking genius. And the fact that she's a biochemist and she's just like sharing her story and sharing this just to help people and talking about how the whole food system is full of manipulation and how it's great. And she's great. And I'm excited to get her on my podcast and to just have a conversation with her, and somebody that is passionate about like truly helping and teaching people how to care for their bodies. Because I feel like that's one of the biggest issues, is that we are just not aware of what our bodies really, really need. And we're also not aware of how, like, scientifically our bodies react to the food we eat and how it affects us and what that causes. So I'm here to tell you what I learned. But to start it off, a fun fact that's not very fun. Today, 3 out of 5 people die from an inflammation-based disease. That's fucking insane. That's cancer. That's diabetes. That's almost every fucking disease out there, because almost all of them are inflammation-based. 3 out of 5 people. So just keep that in your mind while you're listening to this episode. But to start it off, one thing that Jessie said that I really liked is that symptoms are messages. And I feel like we overlook symptoms such as acne, wrinkles, or just stomach pains. Like, we think it's just a normal thing. Like, acne is not normal. Coming from somebody with acne, like, I'm trying to understand, why does my body do this? It is a symptom of something that is out of balance within me. Aging in a not so good way, like wrinkles and just like your skin deteriorating and your muscles deteriorating. Like, I feel like not all of that is normal. Like, of course we're going to age and our bodies are going to change. But the way that we view aging and how we're just supposed to look all shriveled and old, that is not normal. And we just don't realize that. And there's reasons as to why our bodies are ending up that way. And it's what we eat. It's our stomach. Our stomach is a big, big reason for how we look. It's like the main reason for how we look. And it's just crazy. And some fun facts. It says I'm going to be reading all my notes. So, we love that. But your body is not fighting you. It's trying to tell you it needs help. All of these symptoms that you're noticing, the acne, the stomach pains, the bloating, your body is trying to tell you it needs help. Your body is not fighting against you. And I know for me, and probably many others, we tend to think that. We tend to think, oh, why would this zit come like right fucking now? I have something important. I have a shoot tomorrow. I have an interview. Why is my stomach hurt? Why am I bloated? Your body's trying to tell you something. That's why. Your body loves you. It's not fighting you. It's not trying to make you look bad. It's warning you. Like, it's trying to tell you, hey, I need help. I don't like what you've been doing. It's not working for the system properly. So it's crazy to think about. And another thing is that our body's energy source is glucose. And we learned this a little bit in school, but they don't it's not something that you fully retain, because I didn't fully retain that information. But your body's energy source is glucose. And the way that it is mostly ingested from starch and sugars. And how your body goes about breaking down glucose and what your body does with glucose. Your mitochondria breaks down glucose for energy. And your muscles, whenever you work out, it uses the glucose for energy. So that's why, it's good to work out. And we'll get into those hacks in a minute. But so during a glucose spike, your mitochondria gets overwhelmed, because that's what breaks down the glucose. And if you have a glucose spike, that means you have a lot of glucose, and the mitochondria gets overwhelmed because, that's just a lot of glucose in there. And so in return, it causes your pancreas to activate and store the glucose in your liver and other places in your body, which in return makes you cause weight. So, when you have a glucose spike, and I'm not saying that having one glucose spike is bad. It's going to happen. We're going to eat the cookies. I'm going to eat the cookies. I'm going to eat the brownies. But having a glucose spike with every meal every single day for your entire life, that's bad. Because then your mitochondria never gets a break, and then your pancreas is always storing the glucose, and then you gain weight. And going back to what I said before, that your body's energy source is glucose, and your muscles use glucose when you work out. If you have a glucose spike or you eat a lot of glucose, one way, little hack that she taught us, one way to decrease that, work out a little bit after you eat, especially if you eat a high glucose meal such as starches or sugars, like a bowl of pasta, pizza, breads, potatoes, like a whole fucking cake. Go work out. She recommends at least 10 minutes just to get your body moving, get that glucose going into your muscles and being used instead of going straight into your bloodstream. So it's so interesting. I really love this shit. And a glucose spike, the symptoms from that, it causes fatigue, crash, cravings, aging, acne, wrinkles, and weight gain. And I've been hearing about this so much, so much, but when you go to a restaurant, they give you bread first. And there's literally science behind why they do this shit. They give you bread because bread is glucose, which is going to cause a glucose spike if you choose to eat the bread. And they usually give you a good amount of bread. And if you go to somewhere like Olive Garden, they give you unlimited amount of bread. So major glucose spike. And when you have a glucose spike, it comes down after about 90 minutes. So think about the time that you're usually at a restaurant. At least an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. You eat the bread and have that glucose spike at the beginning of your meal, and then you eat your meal, you're hanging out, and then by the time you're crashing, what happens? Does anybody want dessert today? Boom, another glucose spike. Because whenever you have a glucose spike and it comes down, then that automatically, like, hey, we want cravings. We need more of this. It activates the cravings within your mind. Because it's not your body, it's your mind. Well, I guess it's part of your body. But you have a glucose spike, and then 90 minutes later when you're crashing, that's when they come and ask you for dessert. And then you want dessert more than you ever have because you're crashing. And that's how, like, if you eat sweets all the time or you're eating starches and all the time, like, that's what's happening throughout your day. And going into like a little bit of Jessie's story from what I learned, she got into a really bad car accident and she broke her back, and it took her a long time to recover, and she was just feeling very depressed and sad and just going through all of these things, and her mental health was just not good. So she started to learn about her diet and glucose, and she recognized, like, she started implementing these habits and routines in her life around her diet, and she noticed the pattern and the connection between the two of how she was eating and how she was feeling mentally. Because if you're experiencing a glucose spike every single day constantly, that is in return going to make you feel depressed, tired, anxious, not satisfied with life, and just drained, and your cravings are through the roof, and you're very irritable. And like, it was interesting because she did a lot of studies, and I've watched so many of her videos now. I follow her on everything, and I'm gonna get her book because I want to read it. But she's done a lot of studies, and she has a lot of clients where she'll ask like a married couple, and she'll ask a question of like, how often does your wife or your husband irritate you, like, and what's your reaction to that? And then she'll ask a question of, okay, what's your diet like, and just like tracking how many glucose spikes they have in a day. I think she had them wear like some monitor, because you can wear a monitor to measure your glucose levels, like your blood sugar. That's what people with diabetes do. um, but she noticed that the husband or wife that experienced more glucose spikes in their day answered that they got more irritated or angry with their partner because they're experiencing frequent glucose spikes. So that fucks with everything in your body. It's gonna fuck with your mind, it's gonna fuck with your mental health and your behavior and just your willingness to tolerate and being able to just stay balanced. So it's really interesting, like, how a simple thing that's not so simple affects everything in your life. Simply what you eat, and also how you eat, and we'll get more into that as well, it affects your mood. It affects how you show up to others. It affects how you interact with others and how you feel about others. Because if you're not feeling good and your body's, you know, up and down all the time, and your cravings are really high and you're feeling tired, you're not going to interact very well with others, because you're just going to get irritated or annoyed a lot easier. So it's so interesting. It's so interesting to learn about this. And this is another big purpose of my podcast that I'm going to be shifting more into now that I'm, back in the States and have more access to people I know, but also I'll be doing some online episodes because, of course, it's not reasonable to have everybody in person all the time. So, but I'm excited to start gearing more towards things that I want to learn about personally, but also just more health and wellness outside of, mindset and spirituality. I'll never stop talking about that because I love it and that's a big part of my life, but I want to start talking about more things like this, like how glucose affects you and how you can change that. But let's start getting into the hacks because let me tell you, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I implemented these hacks in Italy. So it was really interesting learning about this when I'm in Italy because, I'm eating a chocolate pastry for breakfast every day and a bowl of pasta for dinner every night. So the food in Italy is great, but learning about this was like, damn, they have an amazing lifestyle. Everybody's a lot happier there. It's a beautiful way of life, but, we all have a human body. And so glucose is going to affect everybody the same way. So maybe that's why they take the siestas. I just thought about that. That's crazy. Because, they have the siestas in the middle of the day. Maybe it's because they eat so many pastries and their bodies are crashing and they need to go nap. That might be it. I might be onto something here. But hey, their lifestyle works for them. It's a beautiful lifestyle. I love it. I'm not judging. I'm just making observations. But the first hack for you, and please write these down, like they will change. They will change your life and they will change how you feel every day, mentally, physically, emotionally. Please go write these down. The first hack is eating a savory breakfast. And I know a lot of people don't eat breakfast. I think breakfast is super important because that's the start of your day. That's the start of your body receiving energy and eating. Because, for me, I used to not eat a lot of breakfast. And if I don't eat breakfast, like my body just feels so drained. And then it becomes harder to even eat because my body's using up all my energy. I'm like, I don't even have energy to cook anything. And then that's when we go get takeout. But, anyways, eat a savory breakfast. Examples of that: protein, eggs, avocado toast, so any protein, and just any vegetables, but something that's not sweet. So, examples of what not to eat for breakfast: cereal, pancakes, waffle, French toast. Well, I guess there's eggs in there, but there's a lot of toasted powdered sugar. So, it's like, but just not the sweet starches. So pancakes, like that's a horrible breakfast. That gives you no energy, no nutrition. Even if it is protein pancakes, like, ugh, see how your body reacts to that. I don't know everything. But from what I've learned, I eat eggs every morning. And I mix them with veggies, like peppers, tomatoes, spinach, avocado, or I'll do the avocado toast. My favorite avocado toast. I still need to drop my cooking video on YouTube for this, but some fresh bread, actual fresh bread, because it's so much better. Pesto, avocado, roasted cherry tomatoes, and an over easy egg. That's runny. Perfect avocado toast right there. That is a phenomenal breakfast because the toast, there's things to balance the toast out. You got your protein, you got your veggies, but eating a savory breakfast. Because if you start your day off with something like cereal or pancakes, like that's going to cause you to crash 90 minutes later because that's a big glucose spike right at the beginning of your day. And then that's going to set the tone for the rest of your day. And then you're going to crash and then you're going to have more cravings. And then if you have cravings, we usually give into those, and then you're going to cause another glucose spike, and then you're going to crash again, and then your body is just going to be up and down all day, and your eating's going to be up and down all day, and nobody wants that. Because I've used to live that way a lot, and I wasn't aware. I've always enjoyed, well, let's not say that much. In the last couple of years, I've always enjoyed healthy eating and just taking care of my body and trying to feel my best. But there's still so much I don't know about my own body and what it wants and what it needs. So I love learning about this. But I have implemented one thing that I have implemented is a savory breakfast. I stopped eating the pastries for breakfast. I did not say I stopped eating them entirely, because that's not what I'm here to say at all. I will never stop eating chocolate. Ever. Like, if I die from chocolate, I'll be happy. I don't care. Um, but just eating a savory breakfast. I'm not telling you to change your diet. That is not what I'm doing in this episode, and that is not what Jessie's about either. It is not about changing your diet. It's about eating in a different way. Not eating different foods. Yes, of course, that helps if you eat sugar all day long. You don't need sugar, but we'll get into that. But I'm not telling you how to eat. I'm not telling you what to eat. I'm giving helpful tips on how to eat better to make yourself feel better, and the sense of when to eat certain things and the order to eat certain things, because your body needs that and your body will be happier. But savory breakfast. Also, smoothies. They're natural sugar. I stopped eating smoothies for breakfast. And I was talking about how much I miss smoothies. And then I listened to this episode, and she said smoothies also cause a major glucose spike in the morning or whenever you drink them. And that, she said some things that really hurt my feelings. That oranges are man made, they are not natural fruit. And I'm still going to eat oranges because, like, what am I going to do? Half the fruit out there is man made at this point. Like, apple, none of the fruit is what it used to be. None of it is truly, truly natural anymore. And, I have the same question. How are orange trees a thing? I don't really fucking know, but I believe it. I truly believe it because I know that the fruit is not how it used to be. They are way too sweet. Way too sweet. And way too big. Our fruit's fucking ginormous. That is not natural. But, I'm still gonna eat fruit because I love fruit and I can't just not eat fruit. You know? Because it's the world we live in. So, you choose your battles. I'm gonna eat the fruit. I'm gonna eat the oranges. I still feel good. But yeah, smoothies are not involved in the savory breakfast. And I know that's sad because I was eating smoothies for breakfast every day. But it makes sense because I was also tired every day. So, like I said, you choose your battles. Am I still going to drink a smoothie here and there? Fuck yeah. Am I going to eat it for breakfast every day? No. I'm going to eat my eggs and my protein. It determines the rest of your day. Moving on. Hack number 2. If you do want to eat a high starch or sugar meal, take a shot of distilled vinegar. I know it sounds gross. It is fucking gross. But hey, if you want to feel better and if you don't want to have a major glucose spike and if you want to care about this, take a shot of distilled vinegar. Have I done this? No. But I used to take a shot of apple cider vinegar every night before bed. Apple cider vinegar is so good for your gut and your skin. So, is it gross? Yes, fucking nasty. But it's good for you. So, it's like a cold plunge. Nobody actually enjoys it, but it's good for you. So, before a high starch sugar or meal, like if you want to eat a cake, I'm talking the whole cake. No. If you want to eat a piece of cake or a pasta dinner or like pizza one night, and you don't want to feel the entirety of the effects that are going to happen after you eat that, because they're going to happen, take a shot. It says 1 teaspoon of distilled vinegar with a glass of water. I'm not saying you have to take the shot, 1 teaspoon of distilled vinegar straight. You can if you want to, but put it in water, a glass of water, 1 teaspoon of distilled vinegar, so like white vinegar, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, nothing that's sweet, and not a cleaning vinegar, because like common sense. But drink a teaspoon of distilled vinegar with a glass of water before a high starch or sugar meal, and that will slow down the glucose absorption and breakdown of food, which in return causes a lower spike of glucose. So that's fun. Another fun fact for you. But the third hack, which I have been loving this one, eat your veggies first. And this one is about not changing what you eat, but the order in which you eat them. So, for example, going out to the restaurant, save that bread for later, because then you won't even need the dessert because you still got bread. It's hard, especially when it's just sitting there and it's getting cold. Tell them, hey, can you bring me bread at the end? They'll be like, huh? But they'll do it because the customer's always right. But eat your veggies first. And let me tell you why. Eating veggies first will create a protective layer in your intestine, which will reduce and slow down the absorption of the other foods because of the fiber, resulting in a lower glucose spike. This is facts. I have been doing it. You know, I just posted a vlog where I'm just eating a whole fucking pepper for breakfast, just biting straight into it. It's great. You know, just eat. And that's another part of like the savory breakfast. Eat veggies, because that creates a protective fiber layer in your intestines. Yeah, in your intestines, which slows down the absorption of the other foods into your bloodstream, which is going to reduce the glucose spike because it's entering your body slower. Because, you know, it absorbs like instantly. As soon as you eat that cookie, that glucose is in your bloodstream. So eat some veggies first if you want to eat the cookie, or take the little shot of distilled vinegar. Those are 2 things that you can do before high starch or sugar meal or snack or anything. Eat veggies, you know, like fresh, preferably raw, because those are the best for you. You can cook them, but raw veggies I recommend. That's what I've been doing. But you know, I'm a cook veggies with like meals and shit, but I found that I really enjoy just eating a whole pepper by itself. It's great. And then it creates that protective layer. Like when we were in Italy, we'd eat the peppers and eggs for breakfast, and then we'd go get the croissant. The chocolate cornetto. Ah, so good. But yeah, so the order in which to eat a meal, saying that you're having a balanced meal. You know, like if you're eating a burrito or tacos or like something, that's a little hard, but you can still leave some veggies on the side and eat those first before you eat that whole burrito. That still makes a big impact. So it's just like doing that, taking that extra step for your body. Because I am assuming that you care about your body. You know, I make a lot of assumptions about my audience on here. And I think that's okay. I think it's valid. You know, you're listening to the Magical Lane. You care about yourself to some degree. So I'm here to help you care about your body a little more. Eat your veggies first, always, for breakfast, before a meal, and when you're eating a meal. You know, say you're eating that balanced meal. This is the order in which she suggests to eat them to give your body the best effect from it and the worst, like the least amount of side effects from eating. But the order is veggies, proteins, carbs, and then sweets, if you want sweets. Our body does not need sugar at all. I know, it's sad, but our body doesn't need it. It's just a craving. It's a pleasure. We want it. We want the cookies, we want the cake, the brownies, the ice cream. I know, I want them too, but we don't need it. But eat your veggies, and then your protein, and then your carbs. And I'm not saying, because, I used to do this as a kid. I'll never forget this. Just like being at the lunch table in school, I would eat one thing at a time, and I would not drink. Like, I would maybe take a drink of my chocolate milk, because I'd always get chocolate milk, because, I've been obsessed with chocolate forever. But I would take like maybe a drink or two of my chocolate milk before I got my food. And then I would eat everything separately. Like, I would not mix my food. I wouldn't like take turns eating one thing. I would eat one, like say I have like chicken and like some veggies. I probably didn't eat veggies as a kid. Chicken and veggies and like rice and like some potatoes or something. I don't know. I'd eat one of those at a time. That's crazy. But that's not what I'm telling you to do right now. It's just your first bite, your first couple bites, eat some veggies. And then your second couple bites, eat some protein. And then some carbs. And then, finish your veggies in however order you want to eat it. But the first couple bites, the order in which you eat it, eat the veggies first, protein, carbs, and then sweets if you really need it. If you really want it. You don't need it. If you really want it, eat your sweets. But eat the veggies first. That's the big thing. It's like, jeez, sometimes my fingers will like lock and I can't bend them properly. It was really hard playing the clarinet in school because sometimes I'm like trying to like bend my pinky over and unnecessary. But fun fact about my fingers. Also, if you have noticed the cheeseburger on my nails, that is from my shoot I did yesterday. That I can't tell you what it was. But little hint, this is a cheeseburger. They paid me to do this shit. They sent everybody. We had our fitting on Monday. My shoot was yesterday, so today's Wednesday. But we had our fitting on Monday. And you'll be listening to this on Thursday. My fitting was on Monday. And there was like 8 of us. And they made everybody go get their nails done. And they had all the girls get color. And all the guys just get like a nice clean up, maybe some clear polish. They just wanted our nails to look pretty because it was a restaurant. We're going to be grabbing food, taking photos of our hands. So they wanted them to look nice. But they made me get burgers. They made me get fucking burgers. It's kind of iconic. Not gonna lie. So, like, if you just happen to see some burger nails out at some restaurant ads, just know it's me. It's me. But it was so funny because I walked into the nail salon and they called and made me an appointment. And they're like, okay, you're going to be at this place. Your appointment's in 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they were on top of that shit. We love that. But I walk in and I was like, hey, I have an appointment under Maggie to get burgers on my nails. They looked at me like, the fuck did you just say? 10 out of 10 experience. They had a blast. They were making fun of me. It was fun. Worth it. But, yeah. That's why I got burgers on my nails. Anyways, eat your damn veggies first. The next hack for you. She states this as clothe your carbs. Put clothes on your carbs. As in, never eat a naked carb. And what that means, or examples of that, is eating, if you want to eat bread, put avocado on there. If you want to eat cookies with like nuts. I prefer the cookies with chocolate chips, but hey, eat cookies with nuts on them. Or bread with avocado. So like what she means by that is clothe your carbs is if you want to eat carbs, which is totally okay. Like, I love carbs. I think we need carbs. I need to learn more about my body and like what our body needs. But I'm pretty sure we need some carbohydrates. We don't need sugar, but we need carbs. But clothe them. Clothe your carbs. And so, like, just adding a veggie or a fruit or, like a fruit cake. If you want to eat cake, throw some fruit on there, which I guess I don't know how much that helps because that's just technically more sugar. I don't have the best examples for this one, but my few examples, which give you a good idea, is the bread with avocado and your cookies with almonds. So just things like that. Clothe your carbs. Don't eat them naked because that will help lower the glucose spike. And another one, 10 minutes of exercise after at least one meal a day. Like I said, your muscles burn glucose for energy and you will burn it off quicker. So, and she just says one meal a day. And it doesn't have to be dinner, it doesn't have to be breakfast, whichever you desire. 10 minutes of workout, exercise, going on a walk, doing some jumping jacks, anything, doing yoga, moving your body for 10 minutes after you eat. That will reduce and lower the glucose levels in your body because your muscles burn glucose for energy. So that is another great way to reduce your glucose levels and love your body some more. A really fun fact that's actually fun. The best time to eat sweets or carbs is before or after a workout because your muscles will burn off the glucose. And that might sound crazy. Like, I'm not saying you need it. The sweets, anyway. But the best time, technically, according to Jessie, to eat a cookie is before or after your workout. That's all I'm saying. Because your body will burn off the glucose. Is that the best option? No. Does your body need it? No. Will it bring you pleasure? Most likely. Will your body burn off that glucose quicker? Yes. But same thing with the carbs. If you want to eat a bowl of pasta, the best time to do it is before or after a workout because that will reduce the glucose spike because your muscles will burn that glucose for energy. So I think that's really fun because, I always, and this is, eat what you want. Eat what you want. I'm just here to share what I've learned. But for me, like, anytime I would go to the gym, I would come home and I'd eat like a salad with I would make a protein shake and then I would eat a salad with like chicken or shrimp in it. And I loved that. And it was great. But I feel like maybe it was just a workout, but I feel like I'd get tired. I don't know. This has nothing to do with what I'm saying. But that's what I would do. But if you want to, and these are all just like, I'm not saying that these are the best things to do, but if you want to eat the carbs, if you want to eat the sweets, I'm just telling you the best times to eat them to have the least amount of effect on your body. I'm not telling you go eat a bowl of pasta after every workout because it's good for you. That is not what I'm saying at all. Same like the cookies or the ice cream. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if you want to do that, because I'm not here to tell you what to do. You do what you want. If you want to do that, the best time to eat sweets or carbs is before or after a workout because your body will burn it off. Moving on. I've said this before, but your body does not need sugar. It's all pleasure. And talking about the glucose spikes and how they affect you. Irregular and frequent glucose spikes are tied to poor sleep, low mental health, low self-esteem, irritability, and mood. Your body is off, so everything else will be too. If you're having irregular or frequent glucose spikes, your body is off its balance. Therefore, everything else will be too, because your body is, what's the word? Harmonious. Your body needs to be in harmony with itself in all aspects. And that's hard to maintain 24/7, but this is another way. This whole episode is ways to improve that. We all are perfect beings. We are perfect. Life is perfect. But, we are human. Still perfect. But we're human. We do things. And we live in this society. So it's hard to stay in harmony all the time. But these are the effects with your eating and your glucose spikes. If you're having poor sleep, if you have low self-esteem, if you are depressed, if you have a bad mood, if you're irritable, maybe look at your diet. I'm not a doctor. Jessie is a biochemist, but I am not a doctor. But I have noticed major changes within myself by implementing the hacks that I've been telling you. Better sleep, more energy in my day, a lot better mood. I'm pretty happy as is, but I have noticed an improvement. I can get happier. Isn't that fucking crazy? But just like I've noticed these things, a lot less tired throughout my day, more energy throughout my day, less cravings, which is crazy because I always crave sweets, but now I know why. Because I was having irregular or frequent glucose spikes in my body. But yeah. So if you are experiencing those things, poor sleep, depression, irritability, you can't fucking stand people, maybe look at how you eat. Because it's not the other people. It might be, because, people can be annoying. But at the end of the day, people are always going to be annoying. So how can you live your life better and handle it better? By eating better and having your body in balance and harmony and not giving a fuck about these other people. Because if you're out of harmony, I feel like your fucks rise. But if your body's in harmony, there's no fucks to give. That's my fact for you. That one's from me. But another thing is our body. This was interesting. So, like I've said, glucose makes us age quicker. And she says, Jessie, that our bodies are slowly cooking as we age. And the facts that she gave with that is that as babies, we all have cartilage in our body. But if you look at a newborn, their cartilage is white. If you look at a really old/dead person, their cartilage is brown. I did not know that. So that's really, really interesting. But that's because as we age and as we live our lives, our bodies are slowly cooking. And the example she gave us was, say you have a chicken, you're going to put the chicken in the oven. It's going to be like a pinkish white color. By the time you take the chicken out, it's going to be a tannish brown color. You have cooked the chicken. We are cooking as we age. We are slowly becoming a cooked chicken. It's funny. But there's good news. Our health can improve as we age. How, you might ask? Focus on what you eat and how you eat it. As in, what order? Are you eating your sweets, carbs, protein, and then your veggies? Or are you eating your veggies, protein, carbs, and then your sweets if you want them? That's how you're eating. Are you eating a savory breakfast or are you eating a sweet breakfast? You do not have to grow old and get wrinkles and be all shriveled up. That is a choice. Now you're aware of this fact. And it is a fact. I think it's insane that we have just believed that we're just going to shrivel up. I'm not going to shrivel. I refuse. I'm going to look 30 years old when I'm like 60. Because I am 22 years old and I still look 18. So, I'm on a good path. But our bodies can improve, and it is never too late. You can always switch. So if you're listening to this and telling yourself, oh, it's too late for me, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to die anyway so soon. Good for you. You do that. But you don't have to. You do not have to do that. You can make those changes. And they are so easy. They are so fucking easy. Change what you eat for breakfast. Eat veggies first. If you don't eat veggies, eat veggies. Take a shot of some distilled vinegar before you eat high carbs or high sugar. Like, it is so, they are so simple. So simple. Like, I'm literally giving you the answers in this entire episode. And I'm giving you examples. And you can go research. Go get Jessie's book, Glucose Revolution, and go learn more about this yourself. Because you can improve. You can reduce your aging. And even if you are aged more than you would like, you can bring it back. Bring that shit back. You can. It is not impossible. Don't believe everything that society tries to tell you or the norms that you just see. Because just because you see it everywhere doesn't mean that's the way things are supposed to be. And that's a hard lesson and pill that a lot of us have to swallow. Just because you see it doesn't mean that's the way that it's supposed to be. We are not meant to age that way. We just don't know how to care for our bodies properly. But we are learning. And you're listening to this episode, and I'm proud of you for taking this first step. Go you. But yeah, your age can improve. Your health and body can improve. Your age can improve, but your aging can improve. Your health as you age, you don't have to be a shriveled, wrinkled old person. Another fun fact. The ingredients list in groceries, like on the back of a product, the ingredients list is by weight. And if one of the first 5 is a sugar, it's basically a dessert. And they have so many words for sugar. But if it's in the first 5, do a little research. If you truly care about what you're putting in your body, you'll take that extra step. But the first 5 ingredients, if it's a sugar, it's a dessert. So therefore, don't eat it for breakfast. Don't eat it at the start of your meal. And if you do eat it, work out a little bit. Eat a veggie first. Or take a shot of distilled vinegar first. 1 teaspoon with water. Another fun fact that's not really fun and most people already know. The food market is full of manipulation. That is quoted by Jessie herself, a fucking biochemist. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that's all I've got, facts-wise. But they're great. Like, truly, 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 do this for yourself. do it for me, but do it for you. Like, don't give a fuck about me. Do it for you. It's so easy. So the biggest takeaways: the savory breakfast, work out for 10 minutes every single day after one meal, preferably the high carb, high sugar meal. Eat your veggies first. And when you are eating a whole meal, veggies, protein, carbs, and then sugars if you need them. And if you want to eat high carbs or high sugar, take a 1 teaspoon of distilled vinegar, not the cleaning vinegar, and not a sugary vinegar, apple cider, red wine, white vinegar, any of those options. Mix them with some water if you really desire. Drink that before your meal, and then eat. And if you are experiencing depression, poor sleep, irritability, low self-esteem, or poor mental health, look at how you're eating, because that I can almost guarantee that has something to do with it. And just love yourself. Implement these daily hacks for life-changing results. What you will notice within yourself, and what I have noticed within myself since implementing these. And I started this, it's been less than a month since I've been doing this. Probably around a month since I've been doing this. Improved mood, energy, weight loss, goals. I don't know. Better able to achieve your goals because you have a harmonious body. Improved gut health, brain health, sleep. Your aging slows down and you're glowing from the inside out because your body's like, fuck yeah, look at us. And then you're just glowing all the time. And I wanted to make this episode because you deserve to know all this. And I deserve to know all this. And I deserve to feel this good. And you deserve to feel this good. And you are beautiful. And yeah, that's all I got for you. You have power over what you eat. You have power over the food marketing fucking people. You have power. You also have buying power. But we'll get to that in another episode because boy do I want to talk about that. How we spend our money and how much we fucking complain. You have the power in your wallet, but you have power over what you eat. You deserve to feel good. Go learn about some glucose spikes. Go follow Jessie. She'll be on this podcast sooner than you know it. And go get her book, Glucose Revolution. She goes by the Glucose Goddess on social media, so that's how you can find her. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I loved talking about it. Like I said at the beginning, it's a passion. I love health and well-being and just feeling fucking amazing. But, I feel like, I don't know, somebody let me know if I have been asking questions at the end of my episode, because I don't know if it just becomes so natural, I just haven't been thinking about it, or if I just forgot about it. But my question for you today is, there's so many questions. There's so many questions. All of the questions. I just don't know how to word this question. Like, my question for you today is, do you care enough about your body to implement these things that I have told you today? That's my question for you. Do you care enough about your body to implement these things? Go ask yourself that. And if the answer is yes, I hope you really, really enjoyed this episode and share your results. Tell me in a few weeks how you feel. I'm kind of back on social media because I went to the Arizona Fashion Week casting and I had to make content on my story. So I literally downloaded Instagram at this casting. So I'm kind of back, not fully. If you DM me, I will not see it right away, but I will see it and I will respond. So, or if you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments. I also have my email, my podcast email that is linked that you can reach out to as well. Or just let me know on Spotify and your takeaways from this episode, how you're feeling. Also, let me know what your biggest takeaways are. What fact did you learn or insight did you learn that inspired you the most? Let me know. Interact. Show some love because I love y'all. And if you really love this episode, give it a rate, give it a review. Tell me what you think. Share it with your friends and share it with the people that need it the most. And I appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm excited for all the things coming. And I appreciate you again. And thank you for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed. But go check out my YouTube. Go watch the vlogs. Go check out any episodes you've missed before. And stay tuned for all